What's up? Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Got a lot of ducking going on in boxing recently. Right, so I felt like now is the goodest time as any to define what a duck is, go through some of these matchups and see whether or not I consider this person a duck for not taking a fight. And overall, shame shame the people who don't want to take these fights because they scared to take a loss or whatever they reason and the motivation is for not fighting each other. All right, who do I start with first? All right, let's go from right to left. Right, we're gonna start with old Lomachenko first. All right. If you hadn't heard, Lomachenko was in negotiations with Tank Davis for a potential fight, and Lomachenko stepped back and decided to not fight Tank Davis. He gave the excuse of, the war in Ukraine is still going on. He want to take some time off. And he said he wasn't, mentally ready or physically ready to take a fight this year. So uh, that opened the door for Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson to start negotiating, which I'll talk about that later. But, when Lomachenko um, refused to fight Tank, people instantly, start calling Lomachenko a duck. And he is a duck, right? Because if you don't know what a duck is when somebody is in a position to fight somebody for fair money, market value or above market value, because Lomachenko was going to get paid more money than he ever got paid in his career. So somebody, right? So we can be clear. Somebody has the opportunity to fight an opponent in their weight division or close, right? Maybe, one weight division up or down, whatever the case may be. And it's financially a good deal. And then they say, fuck it, I ain't going to fight. Right? That's a duck in my book, right? When you can fight somebody, the fans want to see the fight. It'll be a good fight for your career, a good fight, all that legacy, all that. So is Lomachenko a duck for not fighting Tank? Yes. All right, but right, but wait, there's more. Goddamn, Tank also ducked Lomachenko back in the day, right? About not back in the day, but 3-4 years ago when Lomachenko was still, in his prime and he was calling out Tank Davis. Tank Davis didn't want shit to do with Lomachenko or Devin Haney or Teofimo Lopez or anybody who would have posed a threat for Tank, you know, 3-4 years ago. Tank wasn't calling them guys up. And I don't know. I think he might have said he wanted to fight T.O., but when T.O. said he would fight him back, Tank was kind of quiet. The whole time, Tank main goal seemed to be to fight Ryan Garcia, even though it was other people in at 135 that was better than Ryan Garcia. Right? We remember Tank pulling Leah Santa Cruz up to fight him and fighting Isak Cruz and fighting Rowley and fighting all of these random people who really, in all honesty, ain't that goddamn good. I think the best out of that bunch I just named is probably, as far as accomplishments, is obviously Leo Santa Cruz. But as far as I think the most formidable opponent for Tank, it was Isak Cruz, which he beat him with one hand. So yeah, I got to put Lomachenko in the duck category for ducking Tank Davis. Uh, But I understand, man. You don't want to get your ass destroyed in front of the whole world for your possibly last fight. So is it a duck? Yes. Do I fault Lomachenko for not fighting Tank when he not? Lomachenko know he not the same fighter that he was, but Lomachenko at 80, 90% can still beat most guys at 135 because Lomachenko is talented, even though he is undersized. If he could make 135, I mean 130, that'd be great. Honestly, Lomachenko would have been pretty dominant if he had stayed at 130 until guys had caught up with him, like maybe a Shakur or somebody like that. They would have bumped heads, but yeah, Lomachenko ain't really big enough to be fighting uh true 135 pounders. And Tank really ain't that big. Tank is a 130 pounder himself. So that's why I like the fight in which the fight would have happened. But it ain't happening. They ain't fighting each other. Let's move on. Move one spot to the left. Williams or Pater. Okay, Williams or Pater. Now, I've been hearing recently that that fight is in the works between Williams or Pater and Shakur Stevenson, but we have yet to hear a fight announcement, and we've been getting mixed signals from Golden Boy slash Matchroom and the Zone and stuff. Even though they not the same, but they got a working relationship. Eddie Hearn has said he's been tasked with trying to make calls for Shakur to try to get potential fights, and Oscar De La Hoya, has come out several times and said, like, hey, man, the WBC can't make us do anything, right? Because the WBC is the sanctioning body that mandated the Shakur Stevenson versus Williams Zepeda fight, right? Now, my verdict, right? Is this a duck by Williams Zepeda, right? You goddamn right it is. You goddamn right it is. It's a duck. Because Zepeda hasn't really done anything, right? So him fighting Shakur would be a huge boost to his name. He would obviously make more money fighting Shakur than he probably anybody else he would be fighting right now. And it's a fight for the belt. Who else would Zepeda fight? Unless he can somehow get the Barancek fight, that's the easiest champion to beat, in my opinion, which it still ain't gonna be easy. Barancek is kind of awkward. He move around a lot, and he's a decent boxer, right? He ain't as good as his countryman Lomachenko, but Barancek ain't just a walkover. So it's a chance you fight him and you lose Williams Zepeda, because Zepeda don't do a lot of special effects and smoke and mirrors and shit. He just come forward and try to whoop your ass. That last boy he fought, damn, what was the guy name? Giovanni Cabrera, right? I watched that damn fight. Giovanni Cabrera was tagging Williams Zepeda ass, but Williams Zepeda just got a hell of a chin, and he just kept coming forward, and he was putting paws on Giovanni Cabrera ass. But if Williams Zepeda fight Shakur Stevenson, he gonna still be getting paws put on him, but he not gonna touch Shakur Stevenson. He ain't got the athleticism. He ain't got the damn ring IQ. He doesn't have the damn footwork or nothing to try to maneuver and cut Shakur Stevenson ass off. I don't know, man. But I would still like to see the fight, because maybe, just maybe, you know, he can just walk Shakur Stevenson down. Maybe he can eat them damn so-called pillow hands. Shout out to Cam and Mace. Maybe William Zepeda can eat them damn pillow hands and make something happen. I just want to see the fight. So yeah, William Zepeda, you duck Shakur Stevenson. All right, let's move on to the next potential duck. Gervonta Davis, right? We done mentioned him a couple times with, obviously him and Lomachenko. He, you got to vindicate him on that, because Lomachenko is the one that pulled out the fight. We ain't forgetting that you didn't want to fight Lomachenko in his prime, though, Tank. Uh, the Shakur Stevenson and Tank negotiations, I don't know how realistic them negotiations was. Whether or not there was an actual attempt to make the fight, or if there was an attempt to make the public think that they was trying to make the fight. That's my only reservation about that damn Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis fight. is that I think the fighters want the fight, but I don't think either camp really wants that fight, if that makes sense. I think Al Heyman and the people over at PBC and Amazon realize that we can make way more money putting Tank in 3 or 4 fights against random opponents and then fighting a Shakur than we can putting them in a fight with Shakur right now, and then Shakur fuck around and beat Tank, and then what? Then Tank aura of invincibility and all that shit go away, and that's one of the main selling points he have, that he a devastating knockout puncher that nobody can fuck with him. So if he go in there and Shakur Stevenson just make his ass miss for 12 rounds and just pot shot him and just outbox him, which is a possibility, because Shakur Stevenson, y'all fucking bullshitting, bro. If you think that man ain't got a chance of hell of beating Tank, because Tank get hit and Tank lose rounds, just like we just saw him lose all them damn rounds to Frank Martin. Now he eventually caught up to Frank Martin, but I love Frank as far as a fighter goes, and I think that he's a good fighter, but I don't think Frank Martin is as good as Shakur Stevenson. I think he in the same class as them guys at the top, or maybe a minus. If they level A fighters, I think Frank Martin might be a A minus, or he might be a A. I think he got the potential to be an A, because I think Frank Martin learned a lot in that fight with Tank. But is Shakur a duck for not fighting Tank, or vice versa? That's my next question I'm asking myself. If Shakur fight Williams Zepeda, it's still a duck. Because why the hell not fight Tank? If Tank fight Rayo Valenzuela or Esau Cruz, whoever win that fight this Saturday, is that a duck? Yes, it's a duck. If Shakur and Tank do not fight next, it's a duck, because there is no better opponent available. There is no opponent available that's going to generate more revenue. You can't tell me that Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis wouldn't do damn near a million pay-per-view buys, if not a million, because everybody gonna be talking about it. Cam and Mace gonna go crazy on this shit, because they been boost. They the one who helped boost Shakur profile to the level it's at now in the past few weeks. Talking about him on It Is What It Is. So yeah, I think both of them guys are duck if they don't fight each other. Shakur Stevenson, you're a duck if you don't fight Tank. If Tank willing to really make the fight. Now I gotta qualify that with saying, if the PBC making Shakur a legitimate offer, that's you can't just be giving the man some bullshit because he fighting Tank. Give him something that's fair, and I think that's a fight that could and should happen. But they saying that fight, the negotiations was you know basically over with or coming to a standstill. So I don't think we're gonna get that fight either. Then finally, the king, Mr. Payday himself, the granddaddy of all ducks. Now he ain't the granddaddy. There's plenty of motherfuckers was ducking before Canelo. But Canelo fighting Edgar Berlanga. Do I even have to explain or clarify whether or not Canelo is a duck? Canelo Alvarez has been ducking David Benavidez longer than some people been pro. Shit. Was Abdullah Mason a damn pro when Canelo started ducking this nigga? I'm not sure. I don't know. He ain't been pro that long. Who else somebody ain't been pro that long? They probably wasn't even pro when this motherfucker was ducking David. Xander Zayed. Who I'm trying to think of some motherfuckers, some young motherfuckers. But basically what I'm saying is this. Canelo and all these guys are doing boxing a huge disservice by not fighting the best guy. But I understand financially why you don't want to do it. But I also understand, and I'm expressing my opinion as a fan, I want to see the best fight the best. Shout out to BFTB. I like that channel, man. That might be roasting motherfuckers on that. On that. That nigga be going ham, bro. That might be roasting the hell out of niggas on this shit. But yeah. Uh yeah, man. That's the state of boxing, man. We got ducks galore. If I miss some, let me know in the comments who do y'all think is the biggest duck of 2024. We need to give out an award. Who is the biggest duck of 2024? I know it. Damn it, it gotta be Canelo. We gonna take Canelo out of it. It's too easy. That's too easy. Who's the biggest duck of 2024, man? Let me know in the comments, bro, what y'all think.